welcome to the Writing Gals. This is our first live podcast of 2023, but hopefully you caught Laura's interview with Emily Childs, right?
Yeah.
Just a couple of weeks ago. So we're going to be bringing you just a lot of variety this year, hopefully, but we're going to try and have at least one live podcast every month with the three of us. Hello. So you saw we still have our video with Amy on it, with Anne-Marie on it. She's still here in our hearts. I just talked to her on Sunday. And I know sometimes she watches, so it's cool that she's still on our banner for now. But anyway, so before we get into today's awesome Q&A session on all things writing, publishing, and marketing, let's touch base with everybody. And I'm going to start with Victorine because I saw her post about her writing cruise retreat, but I want to hear a little bit more.
Awesome. It was great. It was just a cruise, just a regular cruise that I said, I'm going to make this a writing cruise. And it was supposed to be a cruise with a couple other writers, but they backed out. So it was just me and my husband. And he's so awesome. He's like, he lets me go off and write when I need to write. And he goes and does his own thing. And he likes to shop and window shop and stuff. So basically it was just a cruise, but I get all inspired by awesome beaches and the great views of the cruise. And so I was able to write 6 chapters on this cruise. My goal was 5 because it's a 5-day cruise, and I was like, a chapter a day, I can do it. And I got 6 chapters done. Now these are shorter chapters because I'm going to be posting this on Kendall Bell and doing the serialized thing, and it's book 2 of one that already had kind of short chapters to begin with. So they were shorter, but I was really super excited to get 6 done. And I'm really into this story now. So I'm really excited to work on it more and make it all exciting and super fun. So I'm just having a blast with YA paranormal. It's so different from what I usually write that it's just been such a blast for me.
That's awesome. I'm so sad I missed part of it because I realized my dishwasher was going. So if anybody heard this faint, splashy murmur in the background, that's what that was. I turned that off for the rest of the podcast. Okay, Laura, what are you up to?
Me. I've been in the writing cave as well, but I haven't been on a cruise. I've been in my house, unfortunately. I reached a panic after a very long time of procrastinating and saying to everyone who will listen and everyone who won't listen, I need to write my book. I need to write my book. I need to write my book. And I'm like doing anything, but then I was like, oh, I really do need to write my book. Like my deadline came and went. So the last 4 days I've written like 30,000 words on my rom-com. It's nearly finished, so I'm like a few chapters away, and then that will be done and I can send it off to my editor on Tuesday, and that will complete a series. So I'm like, I'm so excited. And then some exciting news is a publisher has given me a 3-book deal to write a historical romantasy. It's like a historical romantasy series about witches and warlocks falling in love. Like it's fun. It's really fun. And I'm really excited about that. So that's going to keep me busy this year because I already have my own projects lined up this year. So no more pre-orders. I'm putting it on the live here. I'm saying no more pre-orders. If I say to any of you, I'm thinking of putting up another one, just slap me.
Oh, you got to watch out what you say on here.
I know.
We'll try and hold you to it. So before I mention what I'm doing, we are looking for questions that you guys might have. So if you have anything that you want to ask us, go ahead and drop it in the comments right now so that we can answer it when we get to that in just a minute. So congratulations, Laura. That's very exciting. We're all kind of going towards fantasy a lot. But my young adult fantasy is on hiatus. I'm not sure that my readers appreciate that very much, but I'm nearing the end of my rom-com and I'm at all the really, really, really good parts. And so I'm just having a really hard time switching brains between projects right now. And so I decided to just go ahead and like not have any guilt over that because I kind of stopped between books in the series on Kindle Vella anyway. And so now I'm just going to focus on my Rom-com, I'm at like 50, almost 55,000 words on it. And I'm shooting for 70, so I'm getting really close. And then hopefully I can move on to other things. But I wrote an article about burnout. I made a few posts in the Facebook group about my burnout journey. And I keep getting all these people that saying, oh, Michelle, I'm so sorry you're going through that. And, kind of just really supporting me and being really sweet, as if like I'm suffering at the moment. And while I did, I just kind of wanted to clear it up with everybody that I am in a great place. I'm writing those articles and talking about it as sort of like a retrospective that might help other people. But I've really come full circle. And while I'll never be quite the same as I was, I'm really happy about where I am. I'm excited about writing. It's a joyful process again. And, I just wanted to let everybody know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And I am standing in it right now. So I'm feeling really good about that. Okay, so we already have one question, and it'd be kind of good to start right off the beginning. Do we have a date for the Writing Gals Conference yet?
I don't think we set a date. Should we do it live? Can we look at our calendars and do it live?
I have my calendar, but the beginning of October still works really good for me.
Yeah, I think
same
October
here.
is good.
So,
in fact, I've written it down. So we must have talked about it before, because I've actually penciled it in.
What did you pencil in, Laura?
Like, I've put basically be free from the 4th to the 9th of October, just in case.
Oh, perfect.
Let's do that weekend. I'm good that first weekend.
Yep. Perfect. So we're
Cool.
going to plan on it being the first weekend. Usually we start around Wednesday of October.
So that'd be the 4th.
Yeah, it's October 4th. So pencil it in, and then as soon as we get things finalized, Laura's going to write it in ink now.
Yes.
We will.
That's great.
It's just happening.
We will make official posts available, put it on our website, and maybe get some registration links up, down the road, let you all know when that happens. So, yes, that's so exciting. We had a great conference this year. We had a lot of really great feedback about it, and a lot of people have already expressed that they're excited for the next one. So we are definitely on target to get that going. Okay. Jen H wants to know, what is some advice for someone who's struggling with time to write? My days are super busy, but I absolutely love writing and want to make this a career.
Well, I've done this too, because I needed to write this rom-com, and life was so busy. I had so I care for my mum full time. She needs a lot of help. I have 3 boys that are 2 different schools, so 2 different school runs that I do, and then obviously just like basic, but like mum stuff, right, around the house and everything. And my days were incredibly busy, but I needed to write. So for me, what I did was I time blocked, and that just works really well for me mentally. So like, when you're at school and you would have periods of time, like you'd follow like, oh, from like 1 until 2, you've got calculus, or, and I think it helps a lot of us, like on a I don't know, like a biological level. Like we can go, oh, okay, my writing is going to be from this time till this time. And then you can kind of give yourself the permission, because what I was having was I'd sit down to do my writing to be like, right, I've got to write. But then I would be thinking, the dryer's just finished and I should probably deal with that. And then I would walk to the dryer and I'd be like, oh, I just realized I've got to take the trash out. And then I would go and take the trash out and then be like, oh, the dishes need doing. And then 3 hours go by and I forgot to write doing my little plans. So now I'm like having to say, no, like I drop the kids off at school and then I come back and say for an hour, I have to sit down and write, and that's my writing time. Everything else is going to have to wait. That's the way I've done it. But then sometimes, like, when like life hits you and you're just like, I'm just not feeling it today. And no matter how much like planning and like sometimes you have to kind of give yourself a break and recognize that sometimes you're not going to do it that day. Sometimes gurus say things like, try and write 2,000 words every day or something. Like, you know, successful writers are consistent. And I hate that word because I'm so inconsistent. I would rather write a whole book in a weekend and then not write for 2 months and just be free to do what I want. So if you hear advice and it doesn't resonate with you, don't feel like, oh, I have to follow that advice. Kind of, I think we're all quite intuitive if you follow what feels right for you. But you could try time blocking, or you could try doing what I do and cram in a weekend. Either works.
Yeah, so one of the things that you have to look at is what is going on in your life that's making you busy, because I've been through several stages in my life. It used to be that I had a lot of little toddlers that needed, you know, constant attention from me, and so I would write like after they got down for a nap, or I would ask, you know, a friend to do like a play date where we would exchange and take turns watching each other's kids for a little while, that kind of thing. Now I've got teenagers, they're all at school, and somehow my days are still busy. Like, you know, I'm taking them to appointments, I'm running this errand, my dishes and laundry. I don't know how, when you start teaching teens to cook, but they're always in too big of a hurry to do their dishes. I don't know, sometimes it takes longer to make them do their dishes too than to do it yourself. Anyway, I'm still just as busy, but busy in different ways. But these are 2 tips that would pretty much work for anybody. One is nobody ever has anything scheduled at 5:00 in the morning, ever. You never have doctor's appointments. You never have to take kids to school. You're never having to, you know, get your kids up. Nothing. There's nothing. I mean, maybe you have like a factory job, or you have like a night shift, but you know, and what I'm trying to say is there's probably a block of period in your day that nobody needs you for anything else. And it takes some fortitude and some discipline to make it happen. But I found that if I get up at 5 a.m. and nobody needs me, I can get, you know, 1,000 words in before anything else that day. And not only do I guarantee I get something done, no matter how the rest of my day goes, it's almost like a boost of creative energy, so that you're more determined to get back to it. And you like don't turn to scrolling on Facebook if you have 10 minutes. You're like, I got to get back to my story, right? And then the other thing I would say is find time to chunk out, like kind of Laura was saying, a couple days at a time in a month, maybe, that you devote to writing. And this sometimes takes family support or friend support or something, but I like to go and just get a hotel for 2 nights and leave my husband with the kids. And just that day in that hotel will be my most productive time the whole rest of the month, because I don't have to do anything. Sometimes I don't even leave my hotel room. I just take lots of snacks and drinks and just stay there. So it doesn't have to be a hotel room. Maybe you go and like stay in your friend's extra bedroom, or, you know, something like that. Or you just say, these 2 days, I'm going to spend all day at the library, because there's no dishes, no laundry, no bills to sort at the library. So anyways, Victorine, do you have any ideas?
Yes. So one thing that I heard on a podcast a long time ago was, if you are actively thinking about your next scene in your story and getting yourself really excited to write it, then when you have a minute to sit, you're not going to scroll TikTok. You're not going to get on Facebook. You're going to be like, I just cannot wait to write this scene. And so sometimes we waste time without even realizing we're wasting time. So if you're actively thinking about, as you're changing diapers or whatever you're doing throughout the day, think about your scene, think about what is exciting about this next thing that you are to write, so that when you do get a minute, that you'll pull out your laptop and you'll be just ready to go. And that's my tip. I do that while I'm washing dishes or in the shower or just anywhere I'm thinking about my next scene, so that I can get really excited. So when I do have a minute, I can go and just write.
Absolutely. Sometimes I used to even keep a notebook handy, and I'd scribble like a line or 2 down, because that stops like the the curse of the cursor, just like, what do I do? Where do I start? You already have notes ready. Okay. My husband will retire in March and wants to travel. Ideas for writing on the road or hotels. I like to keep a lap desk that I carry with me. If you're not flying on a plane, that's a little tricky. But if you're in a car or something, I like to take a portable lap desk because even though they usually have desks in hotel rooms, sometimes I like to get on the couch and be comfortable. And then be sure you take whatever with you that helps you to write. Like for me, I like to have like my headphones so I can play music and not bother whoever else is in the room with me. If certain snacks help you eat, just what helps you to be effective at writing. And then also just make it clear to the people who are traveling with you, like your husband, hey, when we get to the hotel room tonight, we're settling down, I'm going to take an hour and write. And then as long as he knows to like respect that time, then you two can go and play the rest of the time, but you can still carve out that, specific writing time.
I also like to get myself all geared up for writing when I'm on a trip. So I will just mentally prepare myself. This is time away from doing dishes and laundry and all the home tasks where I can write. And so if I'm mentally getting myself all geared up to, oh, yay, this is actually time that I will have to write, then I can, when we get to the hotel and I'm not all just tired and ready to go to sleep, I'm ready to write. So that's another thing I like to do. Sorry if I sound terrible. I have a cold. So.
You don't.
You're fine. I have an app on my phone. I use the Google Docs. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Google Doc app. So this is a bit silly, but when like I'm spending time with my husband or my family or whatever, like and they are getting a bit jealous because I'm spending too much time writing, and that happens when I'm on vacation with them, right? What I like to do is I like use my phone to like sneakily like do some writing. So while we're watching a movie, I'll be like in the corner, like
or watch today's podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? Or like you spend a bit of time with your husband and then you just like wait for him to fall asleep, and then you're like you just start writing, and they're like thinking that you're cuddling them, but like secretly you're just like, I want to finish this book. I find it really helpful because it syncs with, I then go on my computer and it will be on my laptop and it's just all magically there. So if you need something more portable, apps like that are really useful. I know it also Word has an app as well. It does it all integrate. I've just recently got Scrivener. I don't know if Scrivener has an app. That would be amazing if it does, but I'm kind of loving Scrivener right now. It took me so many years to get into it. I was like, no, I don't need Scrivener. I'm not going to get it because everyone's telling me to. And then I think it was James Blatch on one of the self-publishing formulas. I think it was the like most recent episode. He was like, I have Scrivener and it's really good. And I was like, okay, I'll get it. And then I got it and I'm obsessed. So that's amazing. So if you like, I think another thing that's important is if you're Michelle.
Okay, that was my dog moving my chair that he was on.
That was hilarious. Oh, the joys of going live. I tell you. I totally lost my train of thought there. We were talking about Scrivener. Oh yeah. So if you're trying to write and you're on the road, sometimes it's hard to keep track of your thoughts because you're moving a lot. And so I think it's helpful if on your laptop or something, obviously take your laptop with you. If you have an app that's like Scrivener, or you could use Plotter, and it will help you kind of dive in and out of your manuscript much faster because you'll be able to kind of like get an idea of, oh, what have I written already and where does it work with the story? And you kind of just want to be able to remove as many obstacles as possible And I think that when you're on the road, there are a lot of distractions. So those are my top tips.
Okay, to clarify, there was a person walking their dog, and I saw them before my dog did, and so I grabbed hold of his collar so I could keep him from barking, and he managed to move the chair, and so it made that sound. Okay.
That's okay. It's okay.
Funny.
Okay, so can you summarize what BookBub is and how it works?
Sure. So BookBub is a they send out messages to their newsletters. People sign up for certain genres, and so if they want to know about discounted or free books in the romance category, they sign up for a romance category, and they have huge, massive newsletters, right? Tons and tons of people sign up for their stuff. And they basically shout out about books that are on sale, but you have to apply because they get so many people who want a shout out about their books. You have to apply, and you have to get approved by them to be featured in their newsletter. They also have BookBub ads, which go at the bottom of the newsletter, which you can just pay for, like pay-per-click. Anything I forgot?
People can follow individual authors on there and then be notified when those authors have a new release as well. And they'll do new release. They have a lot of rules for the new release alerts that they send out. Like it has to be a full-length book, I believe. And you have to request it within, I think, was it 7 days of publishing or something like that. But there's no cost for it. And as long as you meet the, terms, then they'll send a new release out to all of your followers. So, yep. Okay. Can you explain the rules around publishing after a Vella story is complete? I know about waiting the 30 days to publish to KU, but what about print and audio? Print and audio is the same waiting period as like an ebook edition. You can only publish you can only publish one product, but that product can have multiple formats on it. So like you can publish your book, and then you can have an audiobook and a paperback and a hardback on that book, which is all on the same product page on Amazon. But you can't take that same story and also put it in like a box set because Amazon considers that to be two different products. So you can only have it in one product. And then you have to publish at least 6 episodes. So like you couldn't break down a full-length book into like your Kindle Vella story into smaller novellas. And those novellas only have like 5 episodes each in them. It has to be at least 6. Is there anything I'm forgetting?
I think that's all.
I think besides the 30 days, that's the only rules about it.
Good job.
Here. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. Any words of advice on when a book launch doesn't go as well as you'd hoped? Reviews are average and sales are low. You love it, but the audience doesn't. Is it best to just move on to the next project?
I can help with this one.
Okay,
so yeah, my pirate book came out. Absolute for love project. I was like, the world's going to love this. Everyone loves Pirates of the Caribbean. It's going to be amazing. And then I released it, and it was like it did not do well. It did not do well. It wasn't selling very well. And then the reviews that were coming in were like, this isn't what I expected. Like, I thought this was going to be a bodice ripper, and it wasn't. And then other people were like, I was expecting it to be historical, and it was fantasy. And then fantasy people were like, oh, I don't get the whole, so it wasn't actually a problem with the book. It was a problem with my targeting. So what I was doing was, in my ads, I was targeting Regency readers, which was not a good idea. And then on TikTok, I was saying to everyone, this is a pirate romance, which if at the time you look at every competition out there, it was pretty much all bodice rippers. So that was why I had basically birthed a new subgenre, basically, which is like a sweet but also dark pirate fantasy adventure comedy. It was everything. But anyway, somebody in the review, so I paid attention to my reviews, which apparently you're not supposed to do, but somebody said, this is like a Grimm's Brother fairy tale. And I was like, I can work with that. So I started to target people saying, if you love Grimm's Brother fairy tales, you're going to love this. It's dark, it's gritty, it's got romance in it, but it's not, you know, because the old fairy tales, they don't have like a lot of spice in them, right? It was perfect. And then once I did that, it was such a tiny little change. It just took off. Like it peaked at like 447 in the store, which I've never been that high in the store before. And now it's sticky at around like 1100 in the store, and it just sells. So don't give up on it just yet. Maybe your targeting is off. Maybe your blurb is confusing. Maybe you've gone with a cover that is a little misleading. You know, maybe just look at those aspects to see if you can tweak a few things. It might be just a tiny little change that will make all the difference. And then yes, go on, do another project, of course, but don't give up on your failed launch, because, you know, it's worth it if you can figure it out.
So let's leapfrog from this to another question. So there have been some changes to the TikTok algorithm that I've seen authors talking about. Do you have anything that you can share with us about what's going on over there?
Yeah, absolutely. So TikTok is now very much search engine based. So it's a lot like Google. They're trying to compete with Google. They have come out and found that Gen Z are using TikTok as a search engine over Google. So they're really relying on SEO, which is search engine optimization. So if you're in the TikTok sphere, you've got to really brush up your skills with SEO and learn what it is and how to use it. Now, the benefit is if you already know how to use keywords with our Amazon books, you kind of already know what SEO is. And we optimize our blurbs with SEO, right? With buzzwords and keywords. It's basically those string of words that people are searching. So you want to be found on TikTok. The good news is, because of this different strategy, your videos are being shown in Google searches now, because Google and TikTok are partnering with each other. So people could be searching for dark fantasy pirate romance in Google, and then my TikTok videos will show up because Google has a limited number of, it will say short videos, and it's all TikToks. And so you will start to have more exposure over a longer period of time. In the previous format, it was that you would have a 90-day period of being able to go viral or not. And then after that, like, it's crickets. Now it's kind of evergreen. So unfortunately, it does mean that it's harder to go viral initially. It's a lot more uncommon to go kind of like organically viral. However, if you optimize your headings, your keywords, you really pay attention to that SEO, and make sure that you put captions in your video. So like, you could be talking, but also do the captions. It's all going to be teaching TikTok where to show your content. And then that's going to help your video convert better. So you might only get like 1,000 views on a video, and you used to be getting 10,000 views. But if you've optimized that video, you find that you're selling just as many books, because you're able to make the most of the audience and the people. So because what I find is I just keep being consistent. I keep posting TikTok videos, but I also try and not worry about it too much. Also remember that the whole platform was based on the slot machines in Vegas. It's you win some, you lose some. So you're gonna, and it's twofold. So when you're on your FYP page, there'll be some videos that you're just not interested in, and then some videos that totally hit the mark, and that's to give you the little dopamine hit and keep you scrolling. And so, and also as creators, there'll be some videos that just don't do well, and then some will like take off, and it's all to keep you on the app. It's all to keep you kind of addicted and in the ecosystem. So try and be smart about it. Don't worry about it too much. Don't let it get in your head about, oh my goodness, my views are down, and keep going. And then when you make sure that you optimize your video, if something does take off, you're laughing all the way to the bank because you've optimized that video and it's going to be shown to all the right people. So don't panic. And also don't worry about everyone being all doom and gloom. Every 3 months or so, people say, oh, everything's changed, views are down. Like it's cyclical, it happens. Just stick around and keep doing what you're doing and it'll be absolutely fine.
Well, this whole industry is constantly changing. And Victorine and I have been in it for a decade. And you've been doing what, almost as long, Laura?
Yeah, I first published in 2009.
Yeah. Oh, so longer than I have. So yeah, so it's just something you have to expect it. It's not, oh, is it going to change? It is going to change. There's going to be all new things. So I was looking at a report for the trends that they're expecting for 2023, and they are talking a lot. It seemed like every single point had something to do with AI covers, AI writing, AI, all this stuff. And you can't hardly go to an author group these days without seeing, all the commotion and hubbub surrounding AI. So what are your guys' thoughts on kind of like what we should all be looking at and preparing for with the new technology coming out, and also maybe the laws surrounding it?
So for me, I would watch it closely as a creator. I think it's really important for creators to get paid for their contributions. And if they're taking, creators' body of work and using it for the AI, I think creators should get a part of the revenue that they're making for this tool that they've created. But I'm also not afraid of AI, and I'm not afraid. I don't fear it. I don't think it's going to take over and all the creators are going to be out of work because of it, because I think we can work together and to create things and use it as a tool to help creators rather than put them out of work. And so I'm not afraid of AI. I like AI. I think creators who are contributing to the AI algorithm need to get compensated for that contribution. But they'll figure it out. I think it's brand new, and I think it's just not settled on where we're going to fall with it. So I think it'll all get worked out.
So much of the time, the technology leaps ahead of society's preparation for it, how to integrate it, how to moderate it, all that sort of stuff. But we'll catch up. Laura, do you have any thoughts?
I know a lot of people have been scared about AI with writing. So there's been some people that have gone, oh my gosh, I can get AI to write a whole book for me. That means I can write like tens of millions of books in my lifetime. I'm going to be rich. We're going to flood the market. And then other people saying, oh no, the market's going to be saturated with all this AI content and we won't be able to tell whether it's been written by a robot and it's going to steal from other people and everything. The thing is, readers are not as dumb as you think. I have apps that I play, like little game apps, and they've got stories in them, and I can tell that an AI has written the story because you can tell, like, it feels very stilted and like repetitive and sometimes doesn't even make sense, and you just kind of and I think what you'll find is that there will be people who will just not care and they'll read whatever, but readers will follow you for your voice. So I think that the only thing I would say is with AI is not going anywhere. If anything, it's going to be used more often, and there will be people who are going to use AI and ghostwriters, and maybe ghostwriters use AI. Gosh, how many levels of complication are we going here? But to compete with that, you need to be working on your brand and your voice. You need to develop who you are as a writer and make sure that you don't become like another AI. And then readers will keep coming back to you for your particular brand. Now, I know authors that do really well because they stay in their lane. So they always write small, sweet romance that are set in a small town. Or another author I know makes crazy money just writing the same kind of billionaire office romance in the same series over and over. Whatever your particular brand is, stick with it and make sure readers know what to expect from you. From me, like all of us, we all write multi-genre within romance, right? But we all have our own unique way of storytelling, and AI can't really steal that. It's not going to be able to, and if they did, hopefully our readers would recognize it. Like, I know that I know that author.
Well, if readers can tell the difference between authors' voices, which they definitely can,
yeah,
then they'll definitely be able to differentiate, between AI voices and like.
So I see it as just we need to up our game and make sure that we can. And also, we only need like a teeny tiny slice of the pie to make a living. So it's okay if like loads of readers don't read our books. We only need a few.
So I was thinking the other day, it's kind of a funny, weird, random thought, but I was thinking, I've always hated the fact that there are typos in my books, and I wish I could get them all out. And I'm like, in the future, a few typos may be the sign of an actual author instead of an AI.
I love it.
Typos are the sign of authenticity. So
that's great.
And then Victorine was asking me just for a little bit of a report on how Kendall Bell is doing. And so I am seeing that it's thriving. They're still in beta. Like they have so many steps still to go that they've outlined for what they want to accomplish. They still haven't rolled out to other countries yet. But they did add in a beta for adding reader comments at the end of Kendall Bella's stories. We had a couple of presenters in our conference, Callie Thomas and Christy Dallas. And both of them, first Christy and then Callie were both brought into the beta program to have readers leaving comments. I'm not sure how I feel about that yet. I don't know that I want readers leaving comments, but sometimes I do kind of wish I knew. I guess it's kind of like reviews, but like on a chapter by chapter basis almost. So we'll see. But it just shows that they're still building. They're still deciding how the platform's going to work. They're still, trying things out, and they're still giving bonuses, and the bonuses are still doing really well for people. The people who are performing really well are making quite a bit of money, and then people who are just sort of like middle ground are doing fine too. I mean, so my rom-com that I've posted, like, I've been super awesome and getting like 2 episodes a month out for a while. I'm still making about $300 a month on it, even just doing 2 episodes a month. And so by the time I publish it for Kindle, I'll definitely have made enough money to make it worth that being part of my creative process. So I'm still totally happy with it. I'm not exactly happy with the way I'm implementing my own Kindle Bella process, but I think the platform is still a great option for people who want to try something new or want some motivation to keep going, or just another platform to be in play on. So I'm excited still to see where this thing goes. Someone wants to know, Laura, where did you learn all this great TikTok info?
I'm absolutely obsessed with TikTok. Basically last year, it was October 2020. Yeah, October 2020, I got into TikTok, and then at the beginning of October 2021, I don't know, guys.
Blurs together lately, doesn't it?
A long time. Also, totally off topic, but like 2020 and 2021, I have no memories from those 2 years. I've lost 2 years. I've aged 2 years. I'm never getting them back. Anyway, so then me and Anne-Marie Mayer became like TikTok buddies. And you know how like that scene in, I don't know if you've seen The Emperor's New Groove. Have you seen The Emperor's New Groove? Where he's, you have to, okay, I know you hate it when people say you have to watch something, but The Emperor's New Groove has got like my goofy sense of humor. Like it
is my favorite Disney movie ever.
It's my favorite. Amazing. Basically, an emperor is a spoilt man, and then he gets turned into a llama. And it's so funny. It's the funniest thing. And anyway, there's a scene where he and, is it Kuzco? No, Kuzco and what's his name? The villager guy. They fall down this little, like, what would you call it? Between two, like the Grand Canyon. like a slot canyon, right? And they fall back to back and they link arms and they make this plan that they're going to get out by like linking arms, pushing against each other's back, and then walking up and out. And that is the analogy I give, because me and Anne-Marie were pretty much doing that all year last year. We were like, I feel like I've learned this, and I've been learning that, and I've seen this video. So we've very much been helping one another, and also been incredibly obsessed with learning SEO anyway, because I come from a blogging background, and back in like 2003, 2004 was when I started doing the whole blogging thing and everything. I've just always been really fascinated with that. And then TikTok was like my social media platform to thrive, because before videos were a thing, I was like making TikToks like back in like 1998. so that's it's really just been watching a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of gurus on TikTok, watching TikTok, using its search feature, and lots of nerdy stuff.
That's so awesome. We have more questions. Do you feel like Instagram Reels are as much of a marketing tool as TikTok videos? I've seen authors getting more followers on Instagram rather than TikTok because of the Reels, even if they reuse them.
Yeah, it's a different market. I find that Instagram Reels could get, it's really hit and miss. So like a video on TikTok may take off on TikTok, but then doesn't do well on Instagram. And also it goes the other way around as well. But the thing is, every social media platform has its own language. And also, again, I'm nerding out, but Instagram really likes videos that uses its own code, and the code is recognized by its internal system. So like if you're recording the reel in the app, Instagram knows. So if you are posting from TikTok, even if you take away the watermark, it still knows it wasn't made in its own app, because it will see it as an external video. So my tip is to kind of just recreate the videos. It doesn't take very long, but also know that Instagram does not convert as well. You may find you get views a lot faster, and you might get comments in that, but people might not necessarily go onto Amazon and buy your book, but they will follow you. And then the plus side with Instagram is that Instagram will show your content to your followers, whereas it's not necessarily the case with TikTok. You could have 100,000 followers on TikTok and you're not shown to your followers. So there's also that aspect to think about too. I kind of look at Instagram as an area to create your reader community. And then TikTok is just kind of like a different machine. It's a wild card, I would say.
Okay, time for another platform. Can you give us an update on how your YouTube audiobooks are doing, considering recording my books myself and uploading to the platform?
Absolutely. So I uploaded mine in, let's see, it was November of 2021. And the lifetime money that I've made since I got monetized, which was December 2021, it's been like a year and a month, $30,000 was what I've made on YouTube. I know, crazy, right? And it's been really, really steady. Now, I did take a dip over the holidays. I think everybody's busy over New Year's and Christmas, and my audience usually is moms of kids, and so that age range right there, they're busy with kids out of school and stuff like that. So I did take a dip, but I'm seeing it rise again as people get in their routines and stuff. And so usually I make about $2,000 a month. So January is a little less. I'm going to make maybe 1,600, somewhere in there. But I'm seeing it rise again. I am doing some TikToks, trying to get people over to my YouTube channel. That's all I'm doing for advertising. And it's pretty steady for me. So I would say, yes, if you can get on YouTube and put your audiobooks up, do. Now, I have a lot of books because over the years, I've just done audio as I've made books. And so comparing yourself to me, if you're brand new at this and you're just starting out with one, you're probably not going to see the kind of return that I'm seeing with my 20 books. But I would say start now and start growing your channel now as you have one book and then another one come out and another one come out. Now, the one thing I will say is you do need to post something on YouTube once every 6 months to stay monetized. So you can't just put your audiobooks up and just leave it there forever, because they will remove your monetization if you don't post every 6 months. So just post anything, an update on what you're writing, post just something readers would be interested in, maybe read a chapter of your work in progress or something like that, and keep your channel going. But mine is doing great, so I would say go for it.
Have you been posting new stories, or is it just kind of doing its own thing right now?
Just the latest one I posted was my angel book, and I was curious to see if my different genre would do well on my channel, because all my other ones are mostly the sweet romance, right? So I was curious, but my angel book has done really, really well. So I have figured that it doesn't matter, if you write in several different genres, go ahead and post all on the same channel, especially if there's romance in all of them, like you write, Michelle. I've found that people will jump to different genres on YouTube because they're looking for something to listen to while they're doing chores or while they're driving or things like that. And so they're a lot more flexible in what they'll listen to, rather than if you're going over to Amazon. On Amazon, you've got so many books to choose from, right? And people want what they want on Amazon. On YouTube, you're just trying to find something free to listen to, right? So you're going to be more flexible about what you're wanting to listen to. So I've found it's fine to put different genres up in the same channel.
Yeah. For those of you who may be hearing about YouTube for the first time, you make your money off ad money. So it's not people paying for your audiobook, but you being paid for the ads that run on your videos. And you do have to meet content requirements to be on there. So if you write spicy romance, you may want to edit those spicy parts out for your YouTube channel and maybe post different audio versions, either on Patreon or something like that, because YouTube won't allow that kind of content. I think includes violence and language and things like that too. But it's interesting because there's a lot of conversation about ACX right now because they sent out some notifications about changes to their pricing strategy. Is anybody familiar enough with the new email that they want to talk about that? Or should I wing it?
You wing it.
So basically, you need to go and find this yourself and read it. If you have books available on ACX, they would have sent you an email about it anyway. But basically, they're saying that they're going to lower the price of their audiobooks, which a lot of authors are frustrated or worried about because we already don't make much profit from our audiobooks, even though we're the only ones investing in them, and it's a big expense to create an audiobook, to pay for an audiobook to be created, I should say. And so the idea that if you're getting a percentage of royalties on the price of the audiobook and then Amazon unilaterally changes or lowers the price of the audiobooks, then that means the actual share that you're going to get will be lower, the price. But Amazon is trying to say, or ACX is trying to say, or hoping that it will increase the number of sales that you get over time. And so it will kind of come out in the wash or maybe be better because it'll be a stronger market. And so there's just a lot of concern out there because nobody knows. Nobody knows how it's going to work out, if it's going to be a good move, if it's going to be a good move for ACX and not for authors. I mean, nobody's really sure about that. And so I personally would say we don't know yet. So just give it some time to see what happens. If you're right in the middle of preparing audiobooks to go up for sale, I wouldn't necessarily say that this is a reason to like stop everything in its tracks. But if time proves that this is hurtful to authors or to you personally and individually, there are other options out there for audio in the market. We were just talking about YouTube, for example, for one, but there's other platforms. And so, yeah, I guess just letting you all know it's out there, and that's kind of what's going on, but nobody really knows what's going to happen with it yet. So
I didn't get this email because I had taken all my stuff off of ACX, so I didn't get the email. But in my opinion, I think lowering prices is a good thing. What I really want to see, and this may actually be a step in this direction, what I want to see is ACX allowing authors to price their books how they want to price them, because they have taken that away from authors. We can't choose how we price our books. So I am hoping this is them experimenting to see how much money they make on lower prices, and if they will allow authors to price their books how we want to price them, because I think audiobooks are priced far too high anyway. So I am actually thinking this is a good thing to lower the price, because I want to see more sales and more people addicted to audiobooks. And the more people who are in on this and wanting this product, I think the more revenue we'll make in the end. So I don't see it as a bad thing. I actually hope it's a good thing and a step in the right direction for authors is what I'm hoping.
So I think another step that ACX needs to consider making is to give authors a higher percentage of the royalties.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Because
totally.
it's really bizarre that they're only giving 40% at best or 20% when it's a digital product, and authors are footing the entire cost of the production, and it's significant. It's not like an ebook where you could do it for free and get 70% royalties. With an audiobook, you're going to have a minimum of like $500 to $1,000 in production costs, and then only get 40% royalties. So I really don't care exactly what the pricing structure is on ACX. I care a lot more that authors be given a better royalty rate on the books. But we'll just have to see, how this all pans out. I do know, just kind of from a personal note, my dad is retired, and my mom has gotten really frustrated because since he retired and he's always out working in his shop or his garden or doing these things, he started listening to audiobooks all the time. In fact, he keeps his little like wireless Beats earbuds. They're like the ones that are connected. And he just hangs them around his neck all the time. So anytime he can just pop them in and listen to his audiobook. And the problem is he's got different reading tastes than she does. And he keeps using all of her credits. So they're starting to have some little couple spats about who's going to get to use their credits and can they afford to pay for more and like all this sort of stuff. So it's just kind of funny. But I definitely see more and more and more people picking up audio and being interested in it. And so I think that, there's good things ahead and we don't need to worry about it. I think we just need to be looking at getting our stories in that format and then figuring out what platform we want to put it on. So we're almost out of time. Let's see if we can get through these last couple questions really fast. Did they say how that is going to affect the monthly subscription fee? They haven't said. There's so many questions that are yet to be answered. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see on that one. Do you make ad money even if the person has YouTube Premium and doesn't get ads? I feel like there will be a surge of people that invest in YouTube Premium, including me, so that there's no ads. But does that change the way you'll be paid?
You do get a piece of that. So if someone listens to your entire audiobook and they have no ads because they're paying the premium, you do see that in your reports. You get paid. So yeah, you do get paid.
I have YouTube Premium, and I was really glad to hear that the creators that I'm watching are still getting paid for it. That was a concern I had before getting Premium, because I didn't want to be like, not
cut
letting
them
creators
out.
Yeah, I hated that. So I was glad to find that out, because it's a good investment. They did just increase their prices though. I was kind of frustrated at the big jump in the price for YouTube Premium, because I was paying like $19 a month or something for the family subscription, and it went up to $29 a month. And I was like, sorry, family, we're getting off the family plan and going, mom is the only one that's going to get it now. But it's worth it for me to have YouTube Premium, because I don't like listening to ads. But I have all of my music playlists on there.
Yeah.
And so I can listen to music without the ads. And I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to, just, a lot of things while I'm working. I haven't necessarily gotten into too many audiobooks because when I listen to an audiobook, it feels too much like work to me for some reason. But anyways, yeah. So YouTube Premium is a good option if you're going to get into that. Okay. So does anybody have anything before we say goodbye? Okay. No. So I hope that you all got your questions answered. I believe I saw them all, but if you're watching this later, you can go ahead and post in the comments. We'll try and wrap back around and answer those, or maybe some other people in our community will be able to. A really great way to ask more questions is to join our Facebook group. So just look for the Writing Gals on Facebook. I think you can find the link in the description. And in the meantime, be sure and subscribe and click the notification bell because we're kind of erratic and we just go live whenever we want to. And if you don't want to miss it, then you need to be subscribed so YouTube tells you. So have a great week, everybody.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.